Hello everyone, welcome back to B&M Coaster and welcome to a brand new series. This is of course Lake Willis. So just to explain a bit about Lake Willis, this is basically going to be my version of Phantasialand. A small park, not a lot of money, it hasn't really been well known over the years, but a lot of theming and big coasters, big rides, and this is basically what I want to do for my next park. Now let's get into what I'm doing in this episode, which is a B&M Dive Coaster. I haven't really recorded parts of the track because I did use 4-meter. It took a couple of hours and it would have been boring to watch, so there was no point. Anyway, the original theme for this ride was going to be Bavarian, I think. Yeah, it was originally going to be Bavarian themed, but then I tried to do a Bavarian building in B&M Coaster, and it was horrible. It was a horrible building, and I didn't like it. So I thought, right, what can I do? I want this to be a good themed park. I know. Let's just copy Laser Raiders from Legoland. Yeah, so you might notice later in the episode, a lot of the facade for this station has been drawn from Laser Raiders at Legoland Windsor. And, you know, Legoland is not really the first park you think of to get a reference image for, but in all honesty, Laser Raiders is actually quite decently themed and it has a really nice facade. I believe they've just repainted that facade as well, so it looks even better this year. But yeah, and so it's not the first park you think of, but you know, it was really good reference image and it really did help out. And so right now I'm just doing the outline of the station, what I want it to be. I want those exit stairs to go down into the shop, I want the brake run in this like little themed section that has maybe some animatronics in it. I think I end up putting some statues in there after workshop with some torches, of course putting in the floor here. And you might notice I'm using a lot of gridded items and I'm not really doing a lot of detail. Now this is because this is going to be a really themed park. Like I said, I want to keep the piece count down, so we are going to have to sacrifice a lot of detail, because normally, as you probably saw with Wicker Man, I use a lot of individual pieces with my builds. I normally don't use gridded items, but for this park I am going to have to use a lot of gridded items. So here you'll see me do these tower things, like archway thing, I don't know what they're called, but they are on Laser Raiders at Legoland, and this is what I really wanted to get in. This is what I really love about Laser Raiders facade, are these arch things that have statues in them. Unfortunately we don't have a wide variety of statues in B&M Coaster, so I have had to grab some off the workshop. They're not, the ones I got off the workshop are quite small, they don't really fit properly in the arches, but oh well. And they're not really Egyptian ones, they're more just like general guard statues, I think. But it works, you know, if anyone has any item recommendations, then please comment down below. But yeah, it works for now. If someone does release any new statues in the near future, then I'm sure I'll replace them. But anyway, just doing the flooring now and doing some detail. So here I want to do some simple detail. There's a difference between a lot of detail and some simple detail, because you know, at the end of the day I want to keep the piece count down, but I didn't want it to just be a wall all the way through, because that's when you're just doing too little detail. There's, you know, you've got to get that middle bit in between. And so I'm using, well hang on, I just deleted them all. I forget what I build sometimes. Literally, I am just watching this time-lapse, surprise as you are. I don't know, I don't remember what I built, so yeah. So, I think I am raising the heights just here, mainly because I wanted them to be above the roof of the station, and the ones I already did reached the roof of the station. Well, no, the roof of the station reached them. And so, you know, I'm just building it a little bit taller here, just so they really pop out, like they're the main attraction of this facade. Now the entrance of the coaster itself isn't going to be this facade. This facade is mainly for the exit and the shop that I'm going to be doing at those stairs down there where you see all those arches. The entrance is like off another place, and so yeah, so just filling in the back of these arches here, and of course bringing all the walls out. And so Legoland has 2 arches. Are they called arches? I don't know. I'm just going to keep calling them arches because I generally don't know what they're called. But yeah, bring one over to the other side just to get it symmetrical. And now also Legoland have these sort of like what should I call them, like spike things at the top of them. So you probably saw me there saying, you know, hang on, could I just use the castle pieces for that? No, I couldn't, because the castle pieces look too much like medieval castle pieces, not Egyptian. And so I think I end up just getting some individual pieces and just doing it myself. To be completely honest, here I wanted to do some pillars again, just like Laser Raiders at Legoland. I've literally copied the facade here in case you haven't noticed already. It's only just a little bit taller, and you know, added in some more detail, because whilst you want to keep the piece count down, you know, you still gotta put in some detail. Here are the statues I was talking about. Yeah, like I said, they're just general like golden guard statues, like just go off the workshop. They don't really look Egyptian, but they work for now. If anyone does have any better statues, please comment them down below, because, you know, whilst these do work, I would rather have some proper Egyptian ones that aren't oversized. So yeah, whilst I'm just doing this, let's talk a little bit about Ghostbusters DLC, shall we? I'm not going to be buying it, to be completely honest. I've seen what the design of the interactive dark ride is, and it doesn't look great. The targets are way too big. They look annoyingly unrealistic. Like, most of the pieces in Planet Coaster are unrealistic, but these targets that they've used for this interactive dark ride are annoyingly unrealistic. Luckily though, we will be getting a 1.12. Is it 1.12? I think it's 1.12. A 1.12 free update that will include a generic version of that interactive dark ride, and it turns out it's not even a new dark ride system. They've just Control C and Control V'd the dark ride from the Spooky Pack, the Huntsman one, I think it's called, which is basically just another trackless dark ride, and all they've done, they've just added targets and they've just given the guests guns. Like, and what really annoys me is that they copy and pasted it so much. They didn't even bother to do holders for the guns, and the guns aren't even like attached with wires or anything, you know, they just appear in the guest's hand when they board, and it does annoy me really, and it's not worth paying £13 for that, because all the other DLCs before have only been like £8, I think. Yeah, they've only been £8, but this one's gonna be £13, and honestly, I'm not paying that much for it. You know, even if we're getting the interactive dark ride in the free updates anyway, and it does seem like most of the content for Ghostbusters is going to be for campaign, and I've never played campaign before. I don't play campaign. I never played it in RCT3. I don't play it in Planet Coaster. I'm a pure sandbox player really, and it's disappointing to see them charge so much for something so little. Apparently there's going to be a few scenery pieces in there, but it's just most likely just going to be the Ecto one and a few building pieces that I'm not really going to use anyway. So yeah, I'm not going to be paying £13 for this DLC. This is going to be the first DLC I don't get, which is rather peculiar. Maybe Planet Coaster might be going downhill. You never know. It could. You know, the game is nearly 3 years old now, so yeah. Anyway, enough talk about that. We're doing the station now, and with this station I wasn't getting ideas from Legoland Windsor, I was getting ideas from Cobra's Curse in Busch Gardens, where it's like this ancient tomb sort of thing, I don't know, this Egyptian tomb, and archaeologists are like exploring it, digging it up and all that, and that is loosely what Laser Raiders is like as well, but it's not really, it doesn't really have any evidence to support it, if you get what I mean. There's not really any scaffolding in it, there's not really any like archaeologist animatronics in it, like Cobra's Curse has. So yeah, that's what I want to do with this. It's like archaeologists have reawakened the ghost of a pharaoh, you know, he wants revenge, and his rage is the coaster. Much like Cobra's Curse, really, where they've accidentally awakened the Cobra King. Is it the Cobra King? I don't know. I don't really know the American parks that well, but yeah, I want the story and the theme of the ride to be like Cobra's Curse, but the appearance of the facade to be like Laser Raiders at Legoland, if you get what I mean. At the end of the day, it's just another Egyptian archaeologist theme now, isn't it? So yeah, just doing the beams on the station. I might go back and redo some parts of the station, because honestly, it doesn't look that great, really. Let's be honest here, this station doesn't look amazing. It looks a bit too cartoony, if you get what I mean. I might go back and add some more detail to make it look a lot more realistic. I feel like this station, it reminds me of Revenge of the Mummy at Universal. I know it doesn't really look like it, but it does remind me of Revenge of the Mummy. I might go and look at Cobra's Curse's station, see what that looks like, maybe draw some ideas from that. Laser Raider station at Legoland, it's just a plain wall, that's it, so there's not really much to draw from it. Laser Raiders is a disappointing ride. It has some good theming, but the actual ride itself is disappointing. Anyway, just doing the roof here, and yeah, that's we're almost at the end of the time lapse now. I've just got to do this roof, and then it's all going to be done. On top of the roof, I want to add some AC units. It makes it look more realistic, really, because at the end of the day, I don't want this to be like Hanley Park, where it was just normal Planet Coaster buildings, you know. I tried to make it look realistic, but at the end of the day, it still looked cartoony. I want this to be a proper, realistic looking park. So I'm going to leave you here with some more cinematic shots of this dive coaster. And yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.